friends, it's your art teacher, Miss Barnett, and in this week's lesson called Fantasyland, we've been looking at how artists use their imaginations to invent new worlds and think about pattern and rhythm to create unity in their artwork. So, we are going to create our own fantasy world today. We are going to use paper and oil pastels as well as paint today to finish our drawings. You will have to answer some questions before we get started. So I want you to think about what some of your favorite patterns on fabrics are. Do you like stripes, dots, plaids, checks, or other types of patterns? What kinds of lines do you want to include in your artwork? And do you want to include many colors, just a few, or only two? Will you include warm and cool colors or limit yourself to only warm or cool colors? And how can you make your artwork look playful, such as the Land of Lemons painting that we looked at by Paul Klee? Now, before we begin, I want you to practice and make some sketches of some patterns that you might want to include in your artwork. And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. To be successful today, your artwork should include families of related lines, shapes, and colors. I want you to mix colors that you have not encountered before, and I want you to include patterns and visual rhythm in your artwork. So I'm going to get started, and you can watch me make some patterns, and then I'll start working on my big project. Here we go. All right, friends, I'm going to show you how to make some basic patterns. So let's start with stripes. We could do one or two colored, maybe three colored stripes. You could leave a little space between these. And remember, we're repeating to create a pattern. Now to do plaid, it's very similar. We're just going to put some spaces in there. Put another color. And then we're going to come across, and there's plaid. Maybe we want to do checks. And then we would just color in every other square. Oops. You make a mistake, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Mistakes happen. That means you're trying. Let's do, I don't know, let's see. That to focus a little bit better. Maybe we could do some dots. Doesn't have to just be one color of dots. Good. So there's some patterns to get you started. Now I'm going to start working on my big project. Here we go. All right, friends, I've mixed my secondary colors with my tempera paint, and I took a white pastel and went over my sketch lines. Now I'm going to use my brush and come in and paint each one of these sections a different color. Here we go. All right, friends, so I have painted the large spaces on my fantasy world project, and now I'm going to use my oil pastels and come back in and think about those patterns and motifs we talked about with fabric, and I'm going to start adding those on top with the oil pastel. You can watch me work, and I'm going to get started now. Here we go. All right, friends, here's my completed Fantasyland patterned and motifed landscape picture. I hope you have just as much fun creating yours. Don't forget to look at each other's clothing and get other ideas for different types of patterns and motifs that you might find in fabric. And let's get started.